everyone, let's have a chat today about a hyped up fragrance, and I would like to discuss with you my thoughts on it. Does it deserve the hype that it's getting, and is it worth you purchasing? So the fragrance in question is Valentino Donna Acqua. Valentino Donna Acqua. This here is the little 30ml bottle. It's super cute. I adore the bottle. I absolutely love it. I think it's beautiful. And there we go. Now, Valentino Donna Acqua, the reason I wanted to try it was based on the notes and also because of other YouTubers. So the notes on the fragrance, we've got pear and almond, jasmine and frangipani. So frangipani is one of my favourite florals, a very tropical, heady, holiday type, white type floral. It's sweet and exotic. And in the base you've got sandalwood and hawthorn, which is kind of like another sweet but fresh scent, but it's in SP Parfums and Musk, and I adore it in that fragrance. Well, I adore that fragrance, full stop. So the perfumer is Sonia Constant, and the fragrance came out in 2017, and it's been in quite a few videos that I've watched lately by some female reviewers that I've been really enjoying. I'm going to do a separate video actually on some YouTubers that I'm really enjoying at the moment, some new to me ones and maybe new to you, so I'm going to do that as a separate video. When you first spray it on your skin, so I'm going to go on here. I am already wearing it, and I've actually already been out for a walk with it, and I'll show you some of what my thoughts were during that walk. But for now, I want to talk to you about the opening notes. So another reason I was really excited about it is because I'm really into pear at the moment. I've found that I'm really enjoying the note of pear, and I wanted to track down some more pear notes because I've been loving Jean Paul Gaultier's La Belle, which has got a very strong sweet pear opening. And we all love a great pear, don't we? So you do pick up on that pear, but it's almost like appley. It's almost like an apple and pear combination to my nose. I hate saying to my nose. We all say to my nose, in my opinion. Is there any other way of putting it? Because it's never fact. I think the thing with fragrance, with scent perception, it is subjective. So you can never say this smells exactly like pear and apple, even though apple's not listed. Because to someone else that might not be the case. It's only my experience. So hence why we say to my nose, but I can't think of another way of putting it. And I'm sick of saying the same stuff all the time. I digress. Apples and pears, that's what I get. Apples and pears, up the apples and pears, up the stairs. If you know, you know. So you get this apple and pear combination. It's almost got that bite of an apple, that tartness that you get if you bite into an apple that makes you go, you know? But it's not mega fruity. That's a component of the opening. The fragrance to me also smells like marzipan in the opening. It smells like a syrupy marzipan. So almost like you've melted your marzipan in the sunshine and it's gone a bit syrupy. I don't know if that would actually happen in real life with marzipan. Does marzipan melt? Probably not. After all, isn't it just made of powdered almonds and sugar? Maybe the sugar would melt. Might get a bit greasy probably. So you get this melting marzipan combined with apples and pears with a little bit of tartness that you would get from an apple. And I also get a cherry element. So it's like, to me, it's almost like some cherry blossom. And I'm also thinking cherry bakewells, those bakewell tarts. So it's an almond and cherry tart with some icing sugar and a cherry on top. But not in a full-on gourmand way, almost like cherry bakewells in the breeze, along with these other elements. And I really adore the opening. I think the opening of this fragrance is absolutely brilliant, and I totally get the hype when it comes to the way this fragrance starts out. It is gorgeous, and bearing in mind this is a designer fragrance at an acceptable price point. You can get the 30ml for around about £30, and then obviously the price goes up if you get the bigger bottles. And apparently it's discontinued, but you can find it quite easily at the moment. So that opening is really stunning and delicious, but it does very quickly change. And on here I sprayed only 5 or 10 minutes ago, and it's starting to lose the richness of the sweet gourmand elements already, and it's starting to become more floral and more like this cherry blossom feel, like a tree out in the sunshine on a lovely summery day, blossoms blowing in the breeze. I suppose it would be a spring day because trees tend to have blossom in the spring. And then I would say sort of within half an hour or so, the fragrance really does lose a lot of that personality and character, and starts to retreat a little bit to being a little shy, quiet, floral with a gourmand touch rather than a gourmand fragrance. So it's more of a floral fragrance with a touch of gourmand in the dry down. It goes powdery, it's sort of like powdery, still almondy but not so sweet, powdery and vanillic, and slightly floral. But the problem I'm having with this fragrance is it tends to go quite sharp on my skin at a certain point. However, the weird thing is it's not doing it all the time, because it's not done it today yet. So we are now nearly up here. We're now nearly 3 hours in, but I have to say it's not much more than a skin scent now. So I'm going to cut to my walk so you can see the mid part of the fragrance and how I felt about that. Out for a walk. Today I'm wearing Valentino Donna Acqua. I would have already given you my thoughts on the opening notes. It's now been on my skin about 20 minutes, half an hour. It's kind of sad that the sweet marzipan thing calms down so much and it starts to turn into a more floral concoction. You still have the almond, but it's had all its sugar knocked out of it. It's less vibrant, it's less edible, starts to smell more like a cherry blossom. It's powdery and it still has some sugar, but it's much calmer, less sweet, less fun, I guess. It's not got a strong presence. It kind of wafts around enough at the moment, but so far in my experience it's just not been that noticeable throughout the wearing. Let's see what it does today, but for now I'd say it smells like maybe a little bit like Turkish Delight. Does kind of remind me of Traverse du Bosphore from L'Artisan Parfumeur, but not as sweet and gourmandy. It's more of a cherry blossom with a hint of Turkish Delight. So almondy, cherry, powdery, slightly sugary, but nowhere near as sugary as the opening. I'll come back to you in a second. I just had to show you this tree. I find it stunning. I'm just approaching it now, and it's kind of foreboding and very much owns its space. And now I've spotted a face on it there. So you've got the nose, the eye, and a kind of O-shaped mouth. It's really cute actually. So I've come out of the woods into the fields of dreams. Just disturbed a few bunny rabbits that were playing. You might be able to just see one there, right in the middle. You might not see it, but nevertheless, we'll walk towards it. It's hopping away now. So the fragrance, it's only been 10-15 minutes since we last spoke. The fragrance hasn't changed dramatically, but it feels like it's just heading a little sharper, the floral element, which, as I say, kind of feels like a cherry blossom type scent, in that it has a cherry element, but it definitely feels floral and a little bit fluffy. It's getting a bit sharper. My experience so far with this scent is that it gets a sharp acidic vibe to it that happens about half an hour or an hour in. It's a quiet aeroplane. Not that quiet now, but it gets a sharp, what I consider a hairspray like note to it. It's not mega strong, but I don't particularly like it. I wouldn't say I dislike it, I hate it. I just don't particularly enjoy it, and it kind of overshadows the perfume for me, even though you can still smell all the nice elements, the fluffy, powdery, musky, slightly almond like stuff, and the floral itself is quite nice. It's just this sharp hairspray like thing that comes in, doesn't work for me. I'm not sure if it's just my skin chemistry, because I've tried it on paper and I felt like it didn't really come through the same on paper as it did on my skin. So it might just be me, so don't let that put you off, but I would say you absolutely want to sample this one before you buy it, because it's getting quite hyped up. It's been very hyped up on YouTube at the moment. It's the reason I bought it actually, is because of a few YouTubers that I watch kind of raving about it, and I blind bought it because there was no way for me to test it, and I'm still making my mind up how I feel about it, but I'm certainly not hyping it up. I'm on the fence, shall we say. I'll come back in a second. Just found this beautiful butterfly. Back in the seat, and I really enjoyed the fragrance as I was walking around, and I've sprayed it up. So another thing I've had to do is I can't spray anything here because I'm starting to come out in a rash. So I've always got problems. I don't know if it's, I've had dermatitis on my face that I can't wear any makeup, so my face is kind of like, you can't really see here. You've got like scabbiness, and here as well, but it is called calming down on my face. But now I've got I don't think you can see, but loads of red spots, and they were quite itchy, so I've not been able to spray anything here. I did spray a little bit on my top, and I also sprayed my shoulders. there's not much left there, to be honest. So the fragrance is basically a skin scent after about 3 hours, but it was beautiful. When I was walking home, the wind, there was a light breeze behind me, so it's pushing the fragrance forward, and it was in my hair as well. So yeah, I've got it in my hair actually. It's lasted in my hair a lot better. Just from shaking my head, I could smell it, and it was pushing the fragrance and I was smelling it, and it's really pretty, just a soft powder, like powdered sugar, a little bit almondy, vanillic, really beautiful, enjoyable scent that probably everyone is going to love if they smell it on you. So my only problem with the fragrance is it's a skin scent after a few hours, which could, for some people, it's not a problem. I think if you are, I was thinking that this perfume is perfect for a teacher, teaching assistant, anyone that's in the caring industry. Is that an industry? If you are a carer, if you are in close proximity to people and you're able to wear a fragrance, this is a perfect fragrance because it's very, very nice. Most people are going to love this scent, but you're not projecting, you're not going to be cloying or annoying for anyone because it's quite close to the skin, but you do catch whiffs of it for the first few hours as you move around. For me though, I like a bit more presence. I don't have the need for a skin scent in my life. I just don't have that need. I'm allowed to wear what I want to work. And oh, itchy eye now. Sorry. Yeah, another thing that's been happening is my eyelids have all got itchy. I need to be sent back to the shop and replaced with a new model, I think. Back to the fragrance though. I don't need a skin scent in my life. So for me, the fragrance is not that necessary. It's very nice. I'm probably going to keep it because I think it's very pretty. I would wear it to meet up with a friend for lunch. I think it would be great for like a daytime date, coffee date, walk date, that kind of thing. But I wouldn't wear it for a night out because it's simply not strong enough. I like my fragrances to have a bit more oomph on a night out so they can compete with everything going on. But I think if you are someone that just wants something soft and subtle and still very alluring, it's very pretty and feminine, I think people will find it attractive pretty much really across the board. There's not going to be many people that don't like it. You can't complain it's too sweet because it's not too sweet. You can't complain it's too floral because it's not too floral. It's not sharp. Well, there is a sharp element that comes out on my skin, but the whole part of it, people wouldn't really notice that on me. It's just me noticing it on myself. But if you just catch whiffs in the air, you're just going to get this powdered sugar, almond, cherry blossom scent, which is impossible to dislike, I think. So what do I think? Do I believe the hype? Am I gonna try and push the hype train along even faster? No, I'm not. I think it's a really nice fragrance. I think for a designer fragrance, it stands out amongst the overcrowded hordes of other scents that are all very similar. But it does lack in the performance department, and performance is very important for me. Yes. So yeah, I'm not hyping it up. I'm saying it's nice. I'm saying try it for yourself and see what you think. And that's it really. So I hope that you enjoyed this little review type thing, and I'll see you in the next video.